Upon return, my first impression was that, considering the hurricane, the city had made a remarkably swift recovery. The infrastructure didn't seem markedly changed, and everyone was in good spirit. All of this gave me great joy and also hope for what lay in store at my favorite restaurant. Although I had worried that it may have closed, a quick check of travel sheet showed that no La Estrella del Mar was still in business and had mounted of reviews. Thankfully, the internet had been restored in my hotel. There was no relying on word of mouth this time, but to maintain an element of surprise. I deliberately avoid reading any reviews. While internet was not readily accessible, Cuba still doesn't allow for ride-sharing apps, so back in a cab I went. I'm sure my Spanish had only gotten worse in the intervening years, so I was surprised to find that the driver knew exactly where I was heading. Within a few miles of the destination, crudely made signs appeared on telephone poles and trees, with arrows and distances to the restaurant. I figured with the hard time, they must have decided to boost their visibility somewhat. And who could blame them? Rounding the final corner to the restaurant, I nearly told the drive to just continue on. I couldn't believe was the same house. I had been mentally prepared for seeing off the image from the storm. And yes, this was apparent in the flattened vegetation, water-stained walls, and sagging roof. But what I had not anticipated was the barrage of color and noise which assaulted my sense. Cheap plastic chairs and table outside. A gift shop stand overflowing with lucky merchandise, and gone was the beloved hand-carven scenes. In its place, a hung neon monstrosity hung over the entrance. It was quite unnerving and gave off the impression of an old antique decorated by a child. To be fair, the original architecture had remained intact, but little else as far as I couldn't tell. Needless to say, there was no stately older gentleman to greet me at the door. Instead, the rhythmic pounding of reggaeton indicated they were open for business. I leaving made the trick. I decided there was no turning back now.